Hey there! Today we're going to have a look at two of my personal pens. This is the type of video where I talk a little bit about the backstory of my pens and don't do writing samples. It's not a full-blown review, it's just me talking, okay? But I have reviewed both of these pens, so you can look up the individual reviews, sbrebrown.com, no problem. Now you can get all the details on these pens. Last episode I did was my red pens, but I also have two green pens. So I thought it would be fun to do that now as a contrast. It's only two, but I think both of them are interesting. The first one is this magnificent thing, Cross Boba Fett. I like it. The reason I like this and the reason it stayed in my collection is I like Boba Fett. I'm one of those people. I like Boba Fett. I always have. I like the Star Wars movies. This is perfect for me. I don't need the Chewbacca version. I don't need the Darth Vader version. I just want the Fett. Okay? Mandalorian bounty hunter, perfect armor, and a lot of details from that armor have ended up on this pen. Okay, so I said it's not going to be a full-blown review, but just very, very quickly. All right? You have his T-shaped visor right there. You have his kill stripes. You have the dents in his helmet. You have the little symbol he had on top of his helmet. You have the Mandalorian mythosaur skull that's on his shoulder emblem. You have the back of his helmet, the sort of, I don't know, the filter, whatever that is. Here on top, you have the barrel of his rifle. So that's actually a slightly fluted, very nice design. Then on the front here, you have his armor. On the back you have his jetpack. Here you have his belt, and then below that you have the sash he's wearing. So there is so much detail in this pen that when I saw all that I thought I had to have it. So I got it, I love it. Limited edition, but not very limited, 1977, obviously pens made. I think it's superb. Word has it that the 18K nibs of this pen are made by Pelican. I will say it is very smooth, and my friend Salman from the Toronto Pen Company turned this into sort of more like a stub nib. Very nice, and writes very nicely now. The most important thing to me for this pen is quite simply, it's Boba Fett, right? So one of my favorite characters from the original trilogy, and it's here, and I can write with it, and it's fun. Is this the absolute greatest pen ever made? Probably not. But it's the Fett, you know? So to me this is special, and it's very simple. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd, I've never denied it, and I take pride in it. I'm a nerd, and it's perfectly fine. So if you're a nerd too, you understand why I love this so much. Because it's perfect. It's perfect, and there's so much cool detail in it. I had to have it, and that's why this is in my collection, and that's why it's not leaving. It's Boba Fett. Alright? Now then, there's another one, slightly special. Handmade pen out of micarta. Difficult material to work with, right? Looks like green Arco, is not. It's micarta, it's something to make out of cotton. Very simple. I talked to Penprique on Instagram. No email, no website. He's just a guy making pens. And he makes these. I saw one of my friends had one of these, Claudia, so I said, you know, I saw that Claudia had one, could you make me one too? And he said, sure. So you pay him and he makes you the pen. Now the fun thing is, I wanted a couple things. I didn't want to have a band here like Claudia had. They're pretty large pens, which I like. And he also, when I got it, had a black section, but then he said I can actually make matching sections now, so he sent me one free of charge later. And the fun thing is, I asked him for a number 8 nib, so he made me 2 sections, one for a number 8 Bach, one for a number 8 Jovo nib. This is the Bach nib, ebonite feed, really, really cool. And there you have it, so a great pen. Now, the nice thing about this pen is, it's handmade. It's not easy to work with micarta. It's a little crude here and there, but I love that. To me, this has sort of a rustic charm of something that is a handmade object, and I think it's really cool. It's also a very nice, comfortable size. So to me, all this stuff is a lot of fun, and I'll be fair, I love it. I think it's a great pen. And I know that when I did the review, some people were complaining that it looks a bit, I don't know, the threads look a bit off, it looks a bit coarse. But to me, that was exactly the charm of this. The fact that it doesn't look like, I don't know, a hyper-polished pen, but then it also doesn't cost that, you know? And it's handmade by just a dude. It's not a giant company. It's a guy who is making these pens. I have the feeling I shouldn't really have to justify this, but in any case, I love it, and this is staying in my collection. And if I have a weird ink I'm not sure of, or if I have something strange, I want to use something exotic, or if I just want to bring an odd pen somewhere, I ink this up, because I've never seen this before, and it works. I know there are other micarta pens, I know TWSBI had one, etc. But it's kind of cool. The only thing is, micarta has a very unique smell, but I will say, you can't say that, can you? It's either unique or it's not. It has a unique smell, but it's cool, and I love it. Seriously, I love it. So that's why this is in my collection. And you know what the funniest thing is? If you don't like it, don't buy it. It's not difficult. So there you have it, my two green pens and their backstory. One is the Fett. What else could you wish for? So, I hope this was useful. And again, both are reviewed, so if you need to see them in detail, see them right, look up the review, please. And I'll gladly see you later. Bye-bye.